I know you get this question all the time, but the velo transformation, right? From like, what was it from like 8th grade on, if you remember? Because you said you hit that spike. So what were you like in middle school then from there?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how hard I threw in middle school, but it was not very hard. I know my freshman year tryouts, which I guess was right after 8th grade, I was topping at 65, I think. So I kind of just made the team just because we were always there working out, and he was like, I'm sure they'll eventually gain a little bit there. But I had a bunch of growth plate issues in high school, elbow, shoulder, so I couldn't throw as much. My sophomore year, I probably threw like mid 70s. Junior year, like low 80s, touching 85. And then that's when I hit a little growth spurt there. Going into my senior year, I threw, I want to say like 90 my senior year. And then the summer after, I hit 95. So it kind of slowly came up throughout high school.
Would you consider yourself a good athlete, or were you a good athlete, or did it happen from that growth spurt?
I think it happened from that growth spurt. We were always pretty good athletes, but I was never like anything crazy. Like I was kind of one of those kids that was just kind of like average, like middle of the pack athletically. And then that growth spurt was really when I saw a big jump and everything.
That's so. And then did your brother get the velo jump at the same time? And was there a big difference then, or were you still pretty neck and neck?
Yeah, we were neck and neck. I think we were both low to mid 90s going into Walters State. And then so he pitched his freshman year and ended up having to get Tommy John his sophomore year. So he didn't throw that year. And that was kind of when I saw that extra jump up to like 100, 101. So I guess that's when I kind of went up a little bit. And then so he came back from Tommy John. He's like up to 98 or 99 now. So he's throwing hard too.
When was the first time, if you remember, that you hit 100?
It was my sophomore year, my second year at Walters State, in a scrimmage in the winter. It was like January, right before the season. I remember I was throwing, and I saw my coach. We would always have a guy with a radar gun, like the JUCO, like old radar gun. And then my coach came back. I saw him bring his phone out and video it. I was like, that's weird. I've never seen him do that before. And he just sent me a video after, and the kid was like, I threw it, and 100 popped up, and the kid was like, oh my gosh, 100. So that was the first time I had.
So were you like high 90s at that point? But you never.
Yeah, because that was, so my freshman year at Walters State, I didn't pitch at all. I had another growth plate issue thing. I just had to wait for those growth plates to close. It was kind of the end of my growth spurt. And then so the scrimmages leading up to that, I was like mid 90s, touching 98. Then 99, and then I finally hit 100 after that.
Dude, that's so cool. And then obviously 105 from there. So well, I'll step back a little bit. So what do you think really got you from like 90 to 95? And then we can talk about other, but I feel like that's even crazier. But 90 to 95, what was the biggest thing you think got you?
I think for me, well, I always took nutrition and working out super seriously, but I think I finally started to see those results as I grew into my body a little bit. So I mean, we started working out in 6th grade, like every day. We'd come in Friday nights, like we'd miss football games. Me and my brother would just go work out. Saturday mornings we'd get up at 7, and when we couldn't drive, we'd make my parents take us to the field and work out. So it was always trying to get stronger and get that edge, and I think that's when we really kind of saw it pay off, was just growing into our bodies and finally gaining that strength.
Do you have like a mentor or like a pitching coach growing up?
We were kind of winging it. I mean, our high school coach was really good at developing pitchers and just developing athletes in general. We went to Luke Hochaver. He pitched for the Royals. His dad is in Knoxville. He does pitching lessons. Growing up, we'd go to him. That was kind of more like a middle school thing, just kind of learning how to pitch. But other than that, it was kind of just, we were looking up videos and trying to find workouts, like crazy workouts that people were doing to try to get stronger, throw harder, all that stuff. So it was kind of just winging it and trying to find our own way into it.
So I remember watching your Tread interview with Ben, and obviously Ben is like a genius when it comes to pitching and stuff like that. He understands mechanics and then that velo transformation way more than I do, like from the biomechanical level. But like for someone who's like 16, 17 years old, what do you think is your best advice to like just as simply as you can put it, gain velocity in the order?
Yeah, I think for me, it's, you just have to realize there's not a one stop fix all thing. You got to keep putting in the work every day, and it's just not on the field, not only working out, which you got to take that super seriously, but I think the off the field stuff like sleep, nutrition, just priming your body for the nutrition and recovery that it needs to be able to do that day in and day out. And I think for me, the biggest thing I saw was just trying to throw hard every day, just playing catch. I mean, in high school, you're playing 36, 40 games a year. It's not anything crazy, so I don't see any reason why you can't just let it rip every day. And that's how I learned to throw hard, was just throwing hard. So I think that's what I would say.
Yeah, that's so cool. So, and then flash forward a little bit. So you're at Tennessee. What was that like when you first got like the offer from Tennessee and you're like, oh, I'm gonna be a Bull?
Yeah, it was a dream come true. I mean, I grew up going to Tennessee baseball camps and Tennessee football games, and I lived 15, 20 minutes from campus, so I was always over there. And then seeing Coach Vitello come there and change the program was really cool to see, and I just fell in love with the coaching staff, the atmosphere, just everything they were building there. So that was a dream come true to see that.
How many years were you there?
2 years.
2 years. Yeah. So what was the difference you think from year 1 to year 2? Because year 2 was obviously was historic. So what do you think you saw?
Well, year 1 for me, so our first inter squad actually was October of my junior year of college. I tore my UCL, so I had to get Tommy John. I didn't pitch for a year. I think my first outing after that was August of my senior year. That 5-month period when I was just training with our strength coach and our athletic trainer, just trying to build that back up, I think was when I saw like a big shift mentally and physically to go out and do what happened last year was what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, and then
hit a pen out, pour up heavy in the lamp on a Eddie. I got 3 O's, run a valley. The new Dior, never belly.